Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's analysis. As for now, for today's episode, we are going to discuss about none other than the Annihilator, one of the main antagonists in Mighty Med. Once a boy who in mutant powers they try to fit in the society, who now became a supervillain who now seeks to destroy it. The Annihilator is definitely one of the most tragic and most invincible villains throughout the series. And in this episode, we're going to analyze all we know about him throughout the show to understand the Annihilator and his journey from an outcast who never wanted his powers to the villain that sought to corrupt the other heroes. And now, let's begin. The Annihilator was originally born as a simple boy named Neil Guzenhauser, and from since he was a child he started to exhibit mutant powers, which caused the people to torment and tease him from being a freak, with thus leading to him retreat from society. But he didn't become truly powerful until he was discovered and trained by the legendary Hapax the Elder. Another human with similar mutation wanted to groom Neil to become a superhero, but Neil, consumed by his anger and hate on the world, has officially betrayed Hapax and became the supervillain known today as the Annihilator, one of the most feared supervillains on the planet that now seeks to corrupt all the heroes to turn them evil. Thus, Apex, out of anger and hate for the fact that he was betrayed by the Annihilator, has retreated to Caldera in self-exile. Meanwhile, the Annihilator began his own reign of terror across the world and became the arch-enemies of Skylar Storm, until he managed to take away her powers. And soon, when Oliver and Kaz, the two human doctors who treat the patients at the Mighty Med, has officially arrived at his hideout and managed to steal Skylar's powers away, the Annihilator contaminated them and thus causing Skylar to turn evil. And now, through her, he finally has someone inside the Mighty Med that could help him to corrupt the other superheroes in order to officially turn them evil and to create for himself an army to take over the world. Thus, Oliver and Cass have officially went to Caldera to seek Apex in order to gain his help in defeating the Annihilator. And now, before we continue, we will now stop and ask ourselves, is the Annihilator evil? And I understand you're all tired of asking similar questions on every video, whether one is good or evil, but it's important to know them and their motivation. And in this case, the Annihilator's motivation stems from the fact that he does has a tragic backstory. He was bullied, harassed, and tormented by others for the fact that he was different. He pretty much never fit in the society to begin with, and there is little to no info on his parents or siblings or his family in general, thus implying that he may have always been alone. However, he did have someone who cared for him, Apex, and he betrayed him by turning evil, and thus the backstory pretty much will count as null, because while he did suffer, he also made another person who did love him to suffer similar to him, and thus the answer ultimately is yes, the Annihilator is evil. And in the end, thankfully his plan has ultimately failed, as Skylar turned on him, and then he turned on her and tried to kill her and the others. But Apex managed to defeat him and absorb his power and killed him in the process, releasing Skylar and all the other heroes from his control and ending his madness once and for all. So in the end, who was the Annihilator? He was nothing more but a simple boy born with a power that he never wanted. A boy that will be consumed by his anger and hate and will become a supervillain that will do anything and will sacrifice anybody to spread death, fear and misery everywhere. A villain that will seek to put the same pain and agony that the world has been inflicted on him. And a monster that could easily be called as one of the most tragic and yet most evil villains ever made into a teen show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to keep liking, subscribe, and have a nice day.
We'll turn the rest of the superheroes evil and make the world suffer just as it made me suffer.
There's no way that plan will ever work.
Actually, it would be pretty easy. If they locate all the superhero secret files here, they'd have access to their hideouts, their alter egos, and all their weaknesses.
Even better than what I had in mind. Good plan, Kaz. Thanks.
Cass, could you please maybe not help the villains out?
What's wrong? Usually I'm no help at all.